Hello, welcome back. If you've got back pain during your pregnancy, then you're going to want to practice these stretches to help you reduce that pain so you can actually start enjoying your pregnancy. No special props are needed for this class, just grab your mat and we'll get straight into it. So we're going to start just in a cross-legged position like this in a way that's comfortable for you. If you need to sit up on a pillow or something like that, go ahead and do that. Just bringing your hands onto your knees, and then we're just going to start to take some really big, slow hip circles. And I want you to just find as much movement and space as you can throughout these circles and rotations. The movement is starting from your hips, but I want you to bring your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders into it as well, so that you're bringing a lot of fluidity into your body. This was one of my absolute favorite movements throughout my pregnancies. Just feels so good through the lower back and the hips. Take a couple more circles this way. And then go ahead and start to rotate in the other direction. Big circles. If you notice any bits that are particularly sore and tight, you can linger there for a few seconds longer to just really give your body a chance to release into those particular areas. One more circle. And then coming back up to center, we're going to stay seated, but we're going to come into butterfly. So bringing the soles of your feet together, then just letting your knees drop out to the sides. Your knees might be up higher, they might be lower down. Doesn't matter at all. And then you just want to shuffle a little bit so that you're right on the top of your sit bones and you're able to rotate your pelvis forwards. If that's challenging for you, maybe your knees are up high, you're being pulled back, you are going to want to sit up on a cushion so that you're able to bring yourself into that forward rotation a lot easier. Then just grabbing hold of your feet, and you're just going to start to gently bring yourself down. And as you do that, you'll immediately start to feel the stretch through the outer parts of your hips here, perhaps through your inner thighs, and it's a beautiful release for your lower back as well while we're tipped forwards like this. You can just let your head hang heavy, relaxing here, and then just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths through your nose if you can. If that's not possible, just breathing through your mouth. You might find you want to come just a little bit further into it, but just take it slow as you come into it rather than just kind of pulling yourself, because it is possible and it is common to overstretch when you're pregnant because we've got a hormone in our body that causes our body to open and to release. So we have to be mindful of that. And then we're just going to bring ourselves up and take your legs wide now, as wide as feels comfortable for you. If you found you needed to sit elevated on the cushion on that previous one, you'll want to do so for this too, because we want the forward rotation of the pelvis again. So you're going to start to feel how that creates that nice stretch through your inner thighs. And then we're just going to start to inch our way forwards again. Just take it as far as feels good for you. Take it slow. You might want to come all the way down onto your forearms. You might want to stay up nice and high. Doesn't matter how far you come. You just want that nice deep stretch through the inner thighs. And with this forward flexion, you're going to get that release in your lower back that you so desperately need as well. It's very common in pregnancy for us to create more of an arch in the lower back, and so it's really nice for the belly to hang here and for the lower back to just have that time to relax and release. Okay, some slow deep breaths here. And just making your way up, we're going to stay with our legs wide, but we're going to move into a side body stretch, which is very important during pregnancy. So you're just going to take your right arm down the leg, slide it down towards your toes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to reach up and stretch over But before we take the stretch with the arm, I want you to think about really lifting up out of the hip and lengthening through the side waist as we take the arm over towards the right foot. Now you're going to bring a slight little opening in your chest here, but not too much, because we don't want to create too much of a twist when we're pregnant. That doesn't feel good. That's not what we want. But I do want you to remain open in your chest and lengthen and stretch. And as you reach for your toes, you'll start to feel this through the hip, through the side waist, through your lower back, through one side of your lower back. And we'll just take some deep breaths. We'll hold it for about 5 breaths here. You can let your feet relax as we do this. Soften through your face. And keep reaching, extending towards the toes. It's not about how far you get. It's not about reaching the toes or anything like that. Just getting that nice length through your body. We're going to make our way up. You're going to slide your left arm down the leg now, lifting and extending as you reach your right arm over now. And feeling that stretch down the side waist again. A few more breaths. And then make your way up. I'm going to get you to come over onto your hands and knees now. Taking your knees, we'll start with them as wide as the hips, but you might find you want them even wider because of your bump. You don't want to feel any compression or restriction or anything like that. And I prefer this pose during pregnancy a lot more than child's pose. So if you know child's pose, you'll know that we sink the hips back. What you're going to do in this is you're going to keep your hips high. These hips aren't going to move. They're going to stay stacked, hips, knees. So don't take them back. Don't bring them forward. You're going to keep them nice and aligned. We're going to stretch our arms forwards and you're going to bring your forehead down to your mat. If this feels too much, you can lift up. You can grab a pillow or some cushions and just rest your head there so you're not so far down. And once you're in here, if you need to take your knees wider, go ahead and do that. So your chest is drawing down towards your mat. Hips are high. Spine is nice and long. Some deep breaths. Okay, just slowly making your way out of that. We're going to move into some cat-cow stretches now. So as you take a breath in, you're going to lift your chin, ever so slightly lift your chest, and then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades in together. So if you've done cat-cow before, you'll know that we try to lift up as much as we can, and it's an opening through the abdomen, through the chest. But I don't want you to do too much of an opening here because we're protecting the abdominal muscles throughout pregnancy, which is very important. So we're just going to do a nice little opening. And then as you breathe out, this is key. Now you're going to get that really nice deep stretch as you push your spine up towards the ceiling and really round as much as you can. And coming back through a neutral spine, then you're going to take that just little extension, chin lifting, shoulder blades squeezing in, and then we're rounding again, nice, pushing up. Coming back to neutral, lifting up, just noticing how your pelvis moves back and forth in this position. So wonderful. And really thinking about the movement beginning from your pelvis. So we're bringing as much movement as possible into that area of your body. And coming back to center, we're going to stay with the side stretch theme. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take a look over your shoulder and then just like a little twist, look towards your toes. you take it as far as you can that you'll start to feel a stretch on the opposite side of your body, all the way from the hip up through the side waist. Really nice stretch. And then just take it to the other side so your hips shift a little bit in the opposite direction that you're looking, and then you feel that stretch on the other side of the body. And keep going. We're going to do one more on each side. Nice, and just release. Come down, sit down on your bum again. We're just going to move into a nice hip stretch to close out our class today. So we're going to do this seated. Just bring your hands behind you, and I want you to bend your elbows a little bit. You can take your feet out wide. You're just going to pick up your right leg and place your ankle above your left knee. Now, once you've done that, you can walk your hands in a little bit, and then depending on how much you're feeling the stretch, you can also start to walk the left foot in. The more you walk it in, the more you're going to feel the stretch through the hip. Of course, if you've got a big bump, you're probably going to need to have your leg further out, and that's perfectly okay. So I just want you to feel your way into that and just see where's appropriate for you. You're going to draw your knee out to the side, and you're going to really feel that nice deep stretch through your hips. Sitting tall as you do this and just focusing on your breath, your body. Few more breaths here. And tightness in our hips is very common in pregnancy, so it's super important to really release the muscles around the hips, lower back, inner thighs. And back pain can be so debilitating and just really impact your day-to-day. So just a few simple stretches, you'll be surprised, can make the world of difference. Let's switch over. So you're going to take your arms back further again, legs out in front, and just switch over to the other side. Then you're going to walk the arms up and then just adjust the right foot as you need, taking the knee out, sitting up as tall as you can, and just getting that nice deep stretch for a few breaths. And then we're going to release out of that stretch. So there you have it. Those are our stretches for today. There's some of my favorite to really help you release the tight muscles and reduce the pain that you're feeling. Try to practice it regularly. Like if you could practice these stretches 2 to 3 times a week, then it's going to get you in a really good place in your body where the pain doesn't recur. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you for our next video. Bye, guys.